Alright, so you should have a GitHub account, and you should also check that you have, for the second example, you'll want to have Git installed, so you can download it here, but you can also type which Git, and you should see, if you're using Mac, it's probably located in /user/bin, or might be somewhere else on your computer. If you don't have a working copy, you want to download it. For the next part, for this first part, we're going to do only on GitHub.com. So you should have created an account already, and we're going to do a tutorial where we're going to create a simple GitHub repository, create a branch, make some changes and commit those changes, open a pull request, and then merge the pull request. So let's go to this Hello World example. So first what we're going to do is, let me put this on this side, and then create another. Let me see if I have one already. Okay, so I should be able to follow along with you guys. I haven't done this, or I've deleted if I've done it before. So this is a time-honored tradition of using Hello World as an example. So we already know what GitHub is, so we're going to create a repository. So we're going to go to github.com, and you should be logged in, so you should see your username up here, and I'm not seeing the full menu here. They've changed the... Oh, here we go. So we're going to go up to here. They changed the website recently. So it's a new repository. So you should see repositories. You probably don't have anything there. You're gonna, if you just create an account, you won't see anything there. So you're going to create a new repository, and then you're going to see that you have your owner. So this is going to be your username / the name of the repository. So we're going to name your repository Hello-World. Typically, it should be lowercase, and if you have any spaces, you should use dashes instead of spaces, not underscores. That's kind of the canonical way. And you can call it something like my first repository, or whatever you want to call it. You can choose to make it public or private. There's not going to be anything that you would want to hide in this repository, so I think it can be public. And then we're going to initialize this repository with a README. So this is a good thing to do. This will create a markdown file called readme.md, which will be where you put some text to describe what the repository is for other people. There is a couple other options here. You can add a git ignore file. This is a file where you can put files that you don't want to be tracked by Git on your computer. We don't need to worry about that now, but if you want to add that, you can add it later. You can also add a license. You can read about all the different licenses that are available. They all have different properties. So you might want to read about those. And there's a site just for that you can click on there, and it'll tell you more about licenses. So we're not going to worry about that today, but we're going to create this repository. So we've just created a repository. Now you should see the URL should be github.com/your username/hello world. So anyone on the internet can find your repository here. And that description line is now up here in the top, so it tells someone what's there. And then we created a README file that automatically has the title of your repository and some description. So if you click on that file name up here, it'll actually take you to the file itself, and then we can click on raw, and you can see this is just a markdown file with a top level header and then some text. So now what we want to do, we can go back to, we're at the main page here. So we want to create a branch. So we talked a little bit about what branches are. This is where you can do additional development on the code without changing the master until you're ready to merge those changes. So to create a branch, you're going to go to your repository, click on this branch thing and say find a branch, or you can create a new branch. And so we can say, we can call it readme edits. And so you'll see that this highlight says create branch readme edits from master. So we're going to click on that. So it says at the top here, branch created, and you can now see that this drop-down menu says we're in branch readme edits. So now we have two branches. We have master and we have readme edits. And depending on which branch is selected, you will see different things in this repository because you have two copies now of the same repository. Right now they're the same because we haven't made any changes, but the next thing we're going to do is make some changes. So we're going to edit this README file, so we're going to click on that README link again. And we have the ability to edit this file right in the window. So we've previously used this raw link a lot. Now we want this edit. So we're going to edit the file. And let's just say we want to clean this up a little bit, so we can add a little space here, and we can say this is my first repository. It doesn't do much. Or write whatever you want. You can say here's a list. Etc. You can preview that, and it will, in green it will show you the lines you added, in red it will show you the lines that you've deleted. So it keeps track of that. We can then commit those changes. So we can say, my first, say I added more detail to README. It's nice to put a description that is really clear about what you did, so that when you see it, you'll know exactly what that commit was about. We're then going to commit to the branch README edits. So we're going to type commit changes. So now you see under branch README edits, we now have made this change to our README file. But if we go back to master, we see we have the original version. So when someone goes to your repository, this is still what they're going to see. But now we can open a pull request. So we can say, hey, whoever is in charge of master, which in this case is you, I've made some changes. I'd like you to review them and merge them with your master repository. So there's a nice little animation here, but we can just go to pull requests, and what we're going to see is we push changes to this branch. So it's saying, hey, there's some changes that have been pushed. Let's compare and issue a pull request. So we click on that, and then it's going to say we have this branch that it's saying is compare, which means it's being compared to the base branch, which is master. So base is typically this is the master. This is what everything is being compared to and merged into. And then we have this branch called README edits, and it says it's able to be merged. And then it has some detail listed here below. So it has my commit that I just said. I added more detail to readme.md. That's the description. It has a unique identifier here. And then it shows us the changes. So it shows us there were 9 changes. Most of them were additions. So we had one deletion of a line, and then 8 additions of lines. And so that's ready to be. It can be merged, but first we're just going to create a pull request. And if you were collaborating with someone, this would be the end of your job, right? Or at least this is where this discussion process starts, where they say, oh, I like your pull request, but you might want to do these things too. And then you could add more commits to this pull request. By adding more commits to that branch, those would be included in this pull request. But since this is just us and we want to merge, we can go ahead and merge our own pull request. So you can click on merge pull request, and it's going to just say merge this pull request number 1, and then it's going to use that description that we added before as our description line, so we're going to confirm the merge. So now it says you successfully merged and closed that pull request, and if you want, you can delete this branch, README edits. So we don't have to, we can leave it open, and we could continue. We could make more commits to that branch and then merge it again. But in this case, we can just delete the branch. We could add some comments first, but here we're going to delete the branch. So now it adds a log here, and you could add a comment afterward. You can say, I just deleted the branch. I just merged my pull requests and deleted the branch. So this would be something that other people that are working on this repository could see. So now if you go back to your Hello World repository, you only have one branch, and it now reflects the changes that you made. And when you look at that README file, it says it has the description of the last commit that you entered. And if you click on that, it will take you to that commit, and it will show you what was done in that commit. Okay, so that is we did merge the pull request, and yay! So that's like the most basic example. But so that we can go ahead and well, I can leave that window open for now. Let's go back to where's our lesson? Okay. So this was the Hello World tutorial. We did everything on GitHub, but now we're going to see what happens when we use Git on the command line.